In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum students. We are starting with a new topic of electrochemistry, corrosion and its prevention. Under this topic we would discuss about the corrosion, electrochemical theory of corrosion, factors affecting corrosion, types of corrosion, and there are some methods for prevention from corrosion. Surface treatment method, cathodic protection and anodic protection methods will be studied. Corrosion is a galvanic process in which metals deteriorate through oxidation, making oxides usually, but not always. It's actually a galvanic process, means a voltaic cell is produced between the two metals or two surfaces where one of the metal works as an anode and it is oxidized. Its surface is tarnished by making oxides through oxidation process, or this oxidation may lead some sulfides and nitrides as well. For example, when exposed to air, iron rusts, silver tarnishes, copper and brass acquire bluish green surfaces. Means every metal or every material is tarnished or oxidized by its own way. Iron rusts most of all the metals. Rusting of iron is common. It is important commercially because about $100 billion per year is spent in iron corrosion in United States only, to replace iron containing objects destroyed by the corrosion. Iron corrosion is actually a surface phenomena where iron is converted into ferric oxide, a reddish brown color material which is also called as a rust. Rusting of iron deteriorate much of the metals every year. So development of the method to prevent metals from corrosion is most important field of the research, and the scientists are trying to develop such methods by which the metals can be preserved from corrosion process. Corrosion is a redox process, mostly speed up in the presence of oxygen and moisture environment. These are the two must conditions for the corrosion to occur. The presence of oxygen and moisture in the environment. Whenever the metals are intact with that of the oxygen environment and moisture, they will be corroded rapidly. Some metals are resistant to corrosion due to formation of intact, hard and inert layer of their oxides on their surfaces, which protects the inner metals from corrosion. For example, when we talk about aluminium, magnesium, chromium or nickel, etc., they form a oxide layer at their surfaces, and their oxide layer is intact, hard and inert layer, and this oxide layer preserve the underneath metal from further corrosion. So these metals are resistant to corrosion. For example, aluminium, and we use aluminium for windows, etc. This aluminium remains corrosion free because alumina layer on the surface of the aluminium would preserve the inner metal. Contrast to above metals, iron corrodes very rapidly, forming reddish brown ferric oxide, which is also called as rust. So this type of materials are rusted very rapidly. Ferric oxide does not make an intact layer, but it is flakes off from the surface and exposes the further metal to corrosion. Moisture and oxygen in atmosphere are must conditions for the corrosion. The iron nails placed in deoxygenated water never corrodes even after years. It means that whenever the moisture or the oxygen is subtracted from the environment of the metals, the corrosion process stops. Actually, these are the must conditions for the corrosion to take place. The iron nail placed in the deoxygenated water never corrodes even after years. It means that if oxygen will be provided, the corrosion process would take place, and if oxygen and moisture is not there, the corrosion process stops. It's an explanation of corrosion process by electrochemical theory. How electrochemical theory would explain the corrosion process? It is actually, this theory says that actually a cell is produced, a cathodic half cell and an anodic half cell at the metal surfaces. Metal works as an anodic half cell, and the second one is a cathodic half cell which is provided. So At the anodic half cell, the oxidation process takes place. Presence of moisture in the air produces H positive ion. Actually, H positive ion is produced due to the carbon dioxide and water combination. Carbon dioxide in the air combines with water forming carbonic acid. This carbonic acid actually ionizes, giving H positive ion. These H positive ions actually takes electron from the atmosphere or from the metals with which that moisture is intact, and whenever this would take electron from the metal will be oxidized here, working as an anodic half cell. So oxidation process would take place at the metal surface due to these H positive ions in the moist environment around the metal. At anode, actually iron is oxidized, giving two electrons. Its electrode potential or reduction potential is given as oxidation potential is in positive, reduction potential is taken as minus 0.45 volt. Oxygen in the air, 4H positive ion in the moisture takes 4 electron forming water, and its potential is taken to be equal to 1.23 volt. Overall reaction, if we take the oxidation potential of 1 with that of the reduction potential of the oxygen, the overall cell reaction is iron reacting with oxygen in 4H positive ions, giving iron plus 2 and water. The cell potential would come to be equal to 1.68 volt. It's a very large voltage of the cell. It means that a high value of deriving force is there for the reaction to take place. So iron oxidation takes place easily. The iron which is converted into ferrous or iron 2 form or iron plus 2 form further reacts with oxygen and moisture, giving ferric oxide, which is also called to be hydrated iron 3 oxide, and this hydrated iron 3 oxide actually called as rust, and it is brownish red in color. Factors affecting the corrosion process. There are many factors which would speed up or decrease the corrosion process. For example, the concentration of gases, acidic gases like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitric oxide, etc. These all, whenever would react with that of the moisture over the surfaces of the metal, they would form acidic solutions with that of the moisture, and these acidic solution would increase the H positive ions or ions in the electrolyte at the surface of the metal, and metal oxidation would become rapid due to these gases. Similarly, when metal are exposed to the saltish water. So, what do you mean by salt water? The salt dissolved in the water means sea water. Whenever the metals are in the sea water, they would deteriorate or they would be corroded rapidly. Actually, the seawater works as an electrolyte and completes the cell in a rapid manner by working as an electrolyte, as a good electrolyte. So the corrosion process becomes rapid whenever the metals are exposed to the saltish water, or whenever the metals are exposed to seawater. Impurities in the metals also promote the corrosion process. For example, whenever any metal is an impurity in another metal, and one of the metal have a high reduction potential and the second one has a lower reduction potential, what would happen? The metals having lower reduction potential will be oxidized more. So the impurity in the metal would work as a cell completion. It would work as a cathodic half cell or an anodic half cell, and whichever the metal will work as an anodic half cell will be oxidized more. So impurities completes the cell by making other half of the cell, so they enhance the speed up the process of corrosion. If the moisture condition remains same, the increase in temperature enhance the rate of the corrosion, because increase in temperature would increase the solubilities of different salts or electrolyte materials in the solution, and whenever electrolyte solution would have more number of ions, the corrosion process will become rapid. The nature of the layer formed over the metal surface also affect the further corrosion. For example, we have discussed about that there are some metals over which a hard intact layer is formed, like alumina, magnesia, etc. The layer of aluminium oxide on aluminium and layer of magnesium oxide on magnesium. They are hard intact layers and they preserve the inner metal from further rusting. But if the layer formed oxidized layer formed at the surfaces is flakes of just like that of iron or rusting of iron, it exposes the inner metal to corrosion. So if the layers formed over the surfaces are hard intact, they would preserve the inner metal, while if the layer form it flakes off, just like in the case of rusting of iron, it would exposes the inner metal further for further corrosion. The presence of acids in the atmosphere due to the acid rain, etc. Whenever acid formation take place in the atmosphere, it would accelerate the corrosion process because the acids would make the moisture more ions containing or more better electrolyte. So a cell is completed in a much better way, and this galvanic process of corrosion would speed up in the presence of acids. There are different types of corrosion depending upon the way of corrosion of the materials. For example, Cavice's corrosion. Cavice corrosion due to the difference in the concentration of the electrolyte at two different sides of the metal. Local form of the corrosion occurs which is called as Cavice corrosion. It means that whenever there is a different concentration of electrolyte at the two different sides of the metal, whenever the electrolyte concentration at one site is higher than that of the other site, the corrosion take place at that one site. For example, gaskets which are used between the at the joint of two water pipes, etc. Similarly, bolt heads under surfaces of washers, similarly aluminium alloys, these all would undergo this type of the corrosion which will be called as crevice corrosion. Stress corrosion cracking, SCC. The metal cracking sometimes take place due to the corrosive environment and stress applied. Means a corrosion is there and then the stress will be applied. That stress and corrosion would cause the breaking up of the metals. This usually happens at the high temperatures. For example, SCC of stainless steel in chloride solution. Stainless steel, whenever taken in chloride solution, stress is applied, it would cause stress corrosion cracking. Intergranular corrosion, the impurities in the grains boundaries formed during solidification of metal alloys. Whenever you would solidify a metal alloy, a combination or mixture of different molten metals, whenever allowed to solidify, at their junctions, whenever they will make junction where the metals combine with each other, intergranular sites, there some corrosion takes place. This type of the corrosion will be called as intergranular corrosion. It may also occur during depletion and enrichment of the alloy, whenever you want to increase some metal in the alloy or you want to decrease the some metal part in the alloy. So during this process of depletion and enrichment at the grain boundaries, some corrosion take place which is called as intergranular corrosion. Means the corrosion in between the grains of different metals. Aluminium based alloys undergo usually this type of the corrosion. Galvanic corrosion. We have talked about the galvanic corrosion because it is a type of corrosion where a galvanic cell is formed. One of the metal work as an anode, the second one work as a cathode. The metal working as an anode will be oxidized or corroded. If two metals are in contact with each other due to electrical dissimilarity, they will form a cell in the electrolyte environment and corrosion take place on the metal which would have a low reduction potential called as galvanic corrosion. One of these metals actually corrodes at the junction, and metals we have talked about the metals having low reduction potential will be oxidized and will be corroded more. When copper comes in contact with steel in salt water, copper corroded rapidly because copper has a lower reduction potential than that of the steel, so copper will be corroded rapidly by forming a cell with that of the stainless steel. Pitting corrosion. It's a type of corrosion which occurs at the local sites and surrounded by the normal metal cells. All the other metals around this site will be normal, and at a specific site a pit will be produced. It will be called as pitting corrosion. This pit continues to grow inward the metal vertically, and this causes structure failure. This is the most dangerous type of the corrosion, which is not detected easily, and it comes to know about this corrosion whenever there will be any structure failure there. A droplet of the steel at the steel surface will continue this type of corrosion. For example, there is a droplet of water at the steel surface, and from the anodic side this type of corrosion will be started and will continue to emerge into the metal site or grow into the metal site vertically. High temperature corrosion. This corrosion is a cause of heating only, because high temperature the reaction of the environment would become greater with that of the metal. The oxidation which take place at the very high temperature will be called as high temperature corrosion. It is a non-galvanic type of the corrosion. For example, whenever the materials or metals are subjected to very hot environment for a long period of time, for example in the engines, car engines, etc., or in power generation plants, etc., these materials which keep on resisting in the at the high temperature, which remain at a high temperature for a sustained period of time, they are potentially highly corrosive environment there for due to the combustion of different products. And this combustion process whenever produces a potentially highly corrosive environment at the very high temperature, these materials will be exposed to this environment, will deteriorate or will corroded. This type of corrosion will be called as high temperature corrosion. Uniform corrosion. Atmosphere execute this type of corrosion by attacking at the metal surfaces. This is the most common type of the corrosion. Extent of corrosion can be detected easily from the surface of the metal. This type of corrosion have a relatively less effect on the performance of the materials. Whenever any metal piece will be dipped in dilute sulfuric acid, its surface will be tarnished uniformly. It will dissolve uniformly from the surface. So this type of corrosion is not very dangerous because it come to know suddenly, and it is a surface phenomena, and it happens on the surface uniformly. So uniform corrosion can be detected easily. Microbial corrosion, a type of the corrosion which is caused by the microorganisms. Microorganisms may also cause this corrosion process. Some of the microbes have the ability to make corrosion of the metals. This type of corrosion is usually caused by the chemoautotrophs. This is common for metallic and non-metallic materials. It not only happens in the metallic metals, but in non-metals also. Some aerobic bacteria have the ability to oxidize iron to iron hydroxides and iron oxides. Some oxidize sulfur producing sulfuric acid. So this type of corrosion, which is initiated by the microbes in the different materials, and microbes convert some materials into oxides, sulfides, etc. This type of corrosion will be called as microbial corrosion, and actually microbes are responsible for this type of corrosion. Methods of prevention of corrosion. A simplest method of prevention from corrosion is the application of coating. We coat the materials which we want to preserve from corrosion by some paint, etc., some enamel, etc., or some type of lubricating material with which we actually cut off the material from the surrounding or from the moisture environment. The first one method which we use for the application for the prevention is the plating process. Plating is done by any other metal to preserve the metal. The metal for plating choosing is usually a less active metal to be corroded. For example, tin is used for plating at iron. If this coating is slightly damaged, it enhances the corrosion of the iron. It's a drawback of using tin. For example, we usually use tin packs. It is actually the tin plating over iron, and iron has a lower reduction potential than that of the tin. So if this coating is damaged slightly, the iron would work as an anode, tin would work as a cathode, a cell will be produced, and iron will be corroded more rapidly. So plating, as long as remains intact, would work as a preserving material, but whenever it will be damaged, it would increase the corrosion process of the iron. Hence it is advisable to make plating of more active metal like zinc or cadmium, etc. So we should use the metal having more oxidation potential or low reduction potential to cover the metal in order to make the metals preserve from corrosion. Painting and enameling. Painting or enabling is done with brush, rollers or sprays, etc. It's a covering material to preserve the materials or metals from corrosion. Flexible polyurethane coatings are in common use, but at high temperature and abrasion, these covering does not prove much better because at high temperature they will be removed off, or whenever abrasion is there, they will be removed off. Another way of covering surfaces is the use of some oil, greasy material, organic coating, etc. These organic coating, greasy material, or oil would cut off the moisture contact with that of the metal, and thus they would preserve the metals. For example, one of the best use of lubricating oils in the engines, it not only lubricates the engine but it also makes the it lowers the friction as well, and it makes the parts of the engine to preserve from corrosion. Reactive coating is used. It works of corrosion inhibitor material. The coating of corrosion inhibitor materials, these are the materials which are carefully prepared, surfactant like materials, and these are the conducting polymers, these are the long chain organic molecules. These all materials are used as a reactive coating materials, and inhibit they would work as an inhibitor to preserve the materials from corrosion. A bacterial film coating on metals is another new form of the protecting metals from corrosion. Actually, this antimicrobial producing biofilm is used to inhibit mild steel corrosion from the sulfate reducing bacteria. This type of corrosion is newly introduced. This type of protection is newly introduced, in which we would use a biofilm on the surface of the materials which we want to preserve from corrosion. In anodization technique, it is a technique in which a metal on which we have an intact layer of oxide formed, which would preserve the inner metal. For example, whenever aluminium is prepared, it is made anode in the acidic solution, and the oxygen produced at the anode will make aluminium oxide layer on the surface of the aluminium. This aluminium oxide layer is porous, and whenever this fresh aluminium is dipped into the paints, etc., it will have a permanent intact layer on the metal surface, and it would preserve the metal from the further corrosion. Another method of prevention from corrosion is a cathodic protection or sacrificial anode protection. In this method, we would take an active metal in contact with that of the metal to which we want to preserve. For example, we want to preserve steel, and we would make contact of an active metal like zinc with that of the steel. If steel oxidizes or corroded, it should do like this one. Iron will be converted into iron plus 2 and giving 2 electrons, but these electrons will be provided by the zinc because zinc is more active metal, and this zinc would sacrifice itself by making zinc ions, and it would provide electron to the iron, and iron will remain intact, it will not be corroded. So this type of corrosion will be protection of from corrosion will be called as sacrificial anode protection or cathodic protection. Actually, an anode, which is a more active metal, would sacrifice itself to protect the material which would work as a cathode. So this type of metal preservation is at the cost of another metal. It's not a good method to apply for the very large size objects, but it is a good method to use for very small size object, because sacrificial corrosion would waste the metal which is used as a sacrificial anode, and it will become more expensive way. Thus, for larger structures, preservation impressed current cathodic protection is used. Whenever we want to preserve the larger structures, we would use another type of the cathodic protection, which is called as ICCP. In this technique, anode used is a tubular or solid rod like, which is connected to a DC power source. This material of ICCP are usually cast iron, silicon, graphite, or mixed metal oxides. Actually, in this way, we would take anode joined with that of a electric current, and that electric current would enhance the number of electron to the metal to be preserved as well, and in this way metal is preserved in a more better way, and large structures can also be preserved. Another method for preservation is anodic protection. Actually, in this type of protection, the metal to be protected is made anode of the electrochemical cell, and its potential is controlled in the zone where the metal is passive. It means that we would make, actually the corrosion take place at the anode, and we are again making the metal to be preserved as an anode, but we are controlling the potential at the surface of this metal, this anode, and we would take this potential at the value where the metal would remain passive. It is used to protect metals from which the current density is freely coding state is higher than that of the current density in passive state. Whenever the current density in the metal in coding state will be higher as than the current density in passive state, this method will be applicable. Anodic protection is used for the carbon steel storage tanks. Whenever the carbon steel storage tanks where the pH containing extreme pH environment including concentrated sulfuric acid, 50% caustic soda, etc. Whenever you would use the tanks, carbon steel storage tanks for preservation of these materials or for carrying these materials, then this type of anodic protection is taken to be good, because it is not advisable to use very high current requirements. So this type of protection is applied on these carbon steel storage. In this type of protection, an external power supply is connected to the auxiliary electrode, and it is controlled by the feedback voltage from the reference electrode. Actually, two type of electrodes, auxiliary electrodes and feedback voltage from the reference electrodes are used. Reference electrodes provide the voltage to the auxiliary electrodes, and they would keep the value of the voltage at that position where the anode will not be oxidized. This work under extremely controlled conditions, because excessive current may lose the passivation and making anode unstable, and this will lead accelerated corrosion. This whole apparatus works under extremely controlled conditions, because if the voltage crosses a limit, that would make the oxidation of the anode more rapidly than that of the preservation. So instead of preservation, the accelerated corrosion would take place. So the voltage are controlled very carefully. After learning this lecture, the students must be able to answer all these questions. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.